I'm John Hanna with CDTV.net, and we have Michael Soon Lee joining us again for the another one of his books. Good afternoon, Michael.
Good afternoon, John.
How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well.
Well, it's good. Okay, so for people who doesn't know you yet, can you give us a little bit of a background about yourself?
Well, I've been in sales most all of my life, which means probably for over 50 years. I've been selling everything from, flower seeds door to door to insurance products, financial service products, you name it. And as you mentioned, I've written a book called 111 Ways to Justify Your Commission. While it's mainly aimed at commission-only real estate people, it works for investment advisors and financial planners and folks like that as well.
Okay. So here's the thing about commissions. Is that I always see these issues with commission. Is that the issue would be how much commission is good? Because people would say 15%, other people would say 20%. It all depends. Like there's a sliding scale or something. There's a base pay, and the base pay would affect the commission and all this. It's like you need to have a calculus degree and like higher mathematics in order to figure out the commission basis. But some of the successful salespeople out there make huge amount of money, from like 6 figures to 7, even like more figures.
Absolutely. And the reason is because the more risk you take, the more reward you could make. And like you say, John, you have to have a calculus degree sometimes to figure out how much you are making or how much commission should be charged. But in most industries, there's a fairly set amount of commission. For example, if you're looking in real estate, the average commission is actually a little under 6%. And what people don't understand about real estate is it's actually split between the selling broker, the person who brings in the buyer, and the listing broker who brings in the seller. Because everybody, I think, in this country, in the United States at least, firmly believes that real estate agents make 6% of the sale and they do virtually nothing to earn it. And it's the same thing for investment advisors and any other kind of salesperson who works on either part or full commission, which is why in real estate, John, it's not uncommon that clients will ask for a kickback of part of the commission that the agent got paid, even though they may have actually made very, very little on the deal. For example, in real estate, first of all, let's say you were the listing agent. You're going to make 3%. But that goes to your broker, the person who owns the real estate office. And from that, most brokers will charge you about a third. So of the 3%, 1% goes to the broker to cover the broker's costs. So that leaves the agent with only 2%. And of the 2%, half of that goes to taxes because, as you know, John, any independent self-employed consultant or salesperson is in over about a 60% tax bracket. And so half of that will go to Uncle Sam and their state usually. And then out of the 1% that a real estate salesperson makes, they also have expenses like marketing and, gas for the car and insurance and things like that. So the way I figured it out over about 25 years is that the average real estate salesperson nets in their pocket about 0.5% of the sales price of any house. So if you were looking at a $500,000 house, most people believe that a real estate salesperson will make about $30,000. When in actuality, they actually make about $1,500.
Wow!
It's really not a lot of money when you pencil it all out. And it's the same thing for an investment advisor or any self-employed salesperson, John. People don't make as much as their clients believe. So in my book, 111 Ways to Justify Your Commission, I give actually over 111 ways that self-employed commission salespeople can justify to their clients that they earn their money. So, for example, for real estate salespeople, I suggest that they put together a list of things they do to earn their money. So when I was an active real estate broker, I came up with like 130 things I had to do before I could get a property to close, so I could get paid a commission. So for my little $1,500, I did over 130 things, including opening escrow, finding the property, putting signs out. I mean, all of these things take time.
Right. Wow.
And all we, John, is all we sell really is our knowledge and our time when we're independent salespeople. And you've got to value your time. And so you've got to, if you make a list, clients can see very clearly that you earn your money. So when I was sitting in front of a home seller, for example, and the seller would say, well, I really like you as a salesperson, and I want you to sell my home, but I think your commission is too high, I will pull out my list of 130 things. I said, well, here are just some of the things that I do to earn my money. Why don't you have a look through this list of 20 pages, pick out a couple of things that you would be willing to do instead of me, like hold your own house open, go get a sign, put it on, those kinds of things. And, if you could save me some time, I could talk about saving you some money. And in 25 years as a real estate broker, John, I never had a seller say, I'd like to do number 37, 95, and 103 to save some time for you. Never. They look at that list, their eyes glaze over, and they say, no, you do those things. And I simply say to them, look, if you want me to do what I believe it takes to get you the highest price for your home in the shortest amount of time, then you pay me what I'm worth. If you want to pay less, let me find you a broker who will do less, and maybe they can save you some money. And it's the same thing with an investment advisor. They need to make a list of what they do to earn their money, because I'm sorry, most of our clients have not a clue what we do. All they do, John, is they see us sitting in these fancy offices behind a computer, and they're thinking, man, that's pretty easy to do. For an investment advisor, they don't realize you got to get up at, 6 in the morning when the markets open on the East Coast. You got to track stocks. You got to be on top of it. You got to read prospectuses, which, I don't know, John, you ever looked at a prospectus for any stock offering lately? Look at the one for Google.
Yeah, that's a lot of pages there.
What is it, 300 pages? I mean, would you want to read through that? You couldn't pay me enough to do that.
Well, as an investment advisor, that's part of your job. You got to look through those prospectus and try to figure out whether or not the money's still safe with that kind of investment, right?
Right, but does the client appreciate that unless you remind them that that's part of the job?
There you go. Wow, I mean, it's a lot of work.
It's all the other things that go into being, successful for your clients. Plus, don't forget the continuing education that goes on, and all of the broker-dealer meetings that you've got to attend to find out what are the latest offerings, what are the challenges, and all of the regulations you've got to keep up on.
Yeah.
Those things are worth money. But if you don't let your client know and remind them on a regular basis, they're going to think you're not worth it. And they'll either try and cut your commission somehow, they'll ask for a rebate, or they'll take their business elsewhere. So you've got to, on a fairly regular basis, remind them of what you do to earn your money.
There you go. I think that's the most important thing, like you said, is that, remind them what you do for your money, because it's like these jobs that you mentioned, the real estate agent, the investment advisor, these are not 9-to-5 jobs.
Oh,
they could they could be working until like 2 in the morning and then wake up at 4 to continue what they're doing again the next day. So
exactly.
and I do have a realtor friend, and she tells me she doesn't have the time to do anything anymore because she's all over the place. She's showing apartments, she's showing units, and the thing is that she needs to deal with the clients, and then it's a lot of work.
It is. In fact, what I would do sometimes, John, is let's say I had a client who was making an offer on a property, and I'd go out there and make the offer at 8 p.m. And, we'd dicker back and forth for a couple hours. I'd call my client at 10 p.m. and say, hey, what do you think about this counteroffer? And they would say, Michael, are you still working? It's 10 p.m. And I said, yes, I'm working on your behalf. In the old days, I would have waited till the next day, but now I want them to know I'm working at 10 p.m., or I'll send them an email clearly marked 1 a.m. in the morning so that they know I'm working and I'm earning my money.
There you go. Okay, on that note, we kind of extended on the first part because this is really an amazing topic to talk about for the sales commission. That's Michael Soon Lee, and I'm John Hanna for CityTV.net. This is part 1 of a 2-part series. We're going to go with part 2 later.